Everyone, I'm Ariel. This is Urbanist, and today we're going to have a nice, calm, philosophical chat. I do this once a month, every first Friday, in order to discuss anything beyond cities, history, food, travel, or culture. To have a open discussion, literally about anything, so you can get to know me a little bit better. Since I show you cities all around the world, I show you different neighborhoods, I show you different architecture, and we can all get to know each other a little bit better. So feel free to ask me literally any question whatsoever for this special philosophical chat of March. So welcome everyone. Nice to see you here. Let me know where you're watching from. And I'm Ariel. Hey, Wendy. Hello, Yura. Uh, Mona says already on Twitter they're retweeting your album. Really? Oh, cool. I wonder who retweeted it. Alexandra loves my album. Thank you. Joe. Well, I am down to talk about most things, but I still don't talk about personal things. Things are too personal. I keep a lot. I keep a lot of certain things close to the chest. But anything else, feel free to ask me. Wendy, I'm here for you. Hey, Wendy, thank you. Long Island City, says Mona. Oh, Long Island City, they retweeted it. Awesome. What part of New York are you? I am from Queens. How do you deal with imposter syndrome? Asked Pame. Great question. Um, Experiences like tonight is humbling. You know, no matter how good you think you are, technology might sometimes fail on you. So experiences like this are humbling. And it's kind of the inverse of imposter syndrome. It's kind of bringing you back down to kind of realizing, oh, wait a minute, it's hard to control everything sometimes. And sometimes you can encounter very embarrassing moments like your technology completely failing on you. Uh, I would say that does help out with the imposter syndrome because it makes me realize, I'm human like everyone else. Everyone goes through certain issues or through certain embarrassing moments. But in terms of feeling like I'm not enough for an audience or for support or for opportunity or for subscribers or whatnot or for or a video going viral, I see that as a sign that I need to live up to my own expectation of who I think I should be. So if I don't feel like I'm worthy of, say, 1 million subscribers, let's say I hit 1 million subscribers, it dawns upon me, oh my God, I'm not worth 1 million. Ooh, I don't deserve this. I would say when I encounter that, I remind myself, A, the million or it could be literally whatever number. It could be the 1,000 subscribers. It could be the 10,000. It could be the 100,000, whatever that might be. It's a privilege, not permanent, not forever. Like all things in life, audiences come and go, opportunities come and go, relationships come and go. So you're not special in a way for getting 100,000 subscribers. You're not special for for anything. You did what you did. You got to where you got. Now it's a privilege that you have to respect. So if you have that audience of 100,000, or right now 30,000 for me, um, it's a privilege to go live and immediately have about 80 people tuning in because I did too many lives. Usually I would have more. But It's a privilege. Even having all 70 of you right now tuning in, it's a massive privilege. And with that privilege, you have to take it seriously. You have to um, treat it with care. Serious is probably not the best term, but treat it with care. Respect it. Don't take it for granted. If you take 1,000 for granted, you're going to take 1,000,000 for granted in terms of subscribers. If you take $1,000 for granted, you're going to take $1,000,000 for granted. It's going to happen. So remind yourself, if you're 1,000 subscribers, if you're 100 subscribers, if you're a 1 subscriber, be grateful for that 1 subscriber, because if you aren't, you're going to take everything else beyond that for granted. There's a great line, a great quote from one of my favorite spiritual teachers, Eckhart Tolle. And he says, wherever you go, there you are. So you can never get to a place where suddenly you're different. You're more, you're better. No. No, you're not better for having 1,000,000 subscribers. You're not worse for having less. You are who you are. 1,000,000 comes and goes. 1,000,000 might be nothing in a few years. Or it might be everything. The thing is, you don't know. And I think that's how I handle imposter syndrome, is remind myself that where I am, for whatever circumstance, has been bestowed upon me to treat it with care. At this very moment in time, it could be a quirk of the algorithm. It could be an exploit. Somehow a video went viral because something happened by mistake. It could be a pure happenstance. I ran into some crazy thing happen on the street and I end up capturing it and I go viral. It could be me. I just got in so deep into the flow and words flew out of me, came out of me so effortlessly that it went viral. There could be hundreds, thousands, countless reasons for our opportunity, something clicking. But it doesn't matter what made it click, it clicked. And since it clicked, it is up to you to do something with that, regardless how it clicked. Through happenstance, or through sheer willpower, or through utter flow and inspiration. Whatever happened, you got there. And there you are. What do you do with that? Do you crumble under the fear of I am not enough? Of saying, oh, I don't deserve these 100 people tuning in right now. Oh, I don't deserve it. I don't deserve it. Let me end this live stream. If I do that, I let all of you down. So I hope that answers your question, Bobby. Thank you for asking. That's a great question. Alexandra says it's not your fault about tech issues. So relax with us and we'll hear from you. Oh, thank you so much, Alexandra. I appreciate that. So here's your question. Which one of us will take you to the Grammys? Yeah, that would be fun. I would love to grab the EGOT. Do you guys know about the EGOT? It's a very coveted title. It's getting the Emmy, the Grammy, the Oscar, which is for film, and the Tony, which is for musicals and for theater. I would love to get EGOT. That would be awesome. My fellow New Yorican, Lin-Manuel Miranda, he's almost there to get to EGOT. He's getting close. I think he has an Emmy, he has a Grammy, he has a Tony. I think he's missing the Oscar. But Whoopi Goldberg and John Legend are EGOTs. Yeah, there's a few EGOTs out there. I would love to be an EGOT. Hey, Neobo, thank you so much for tuning in, man. I appreciate you tuning in and saying hello on Twitch. Thank you so much. And thank you for your great work. Everyone, check out Neobo after this video. He does amazing videos of the south of France. And hopefully maybe one day we can collaborate together. So check out Neobo. That's his Twitch name, but he's also doing it on YT. Check him out on YT. Ariel is certainly a star in the making. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, another way to deal with imposter syndrome is own up to where you want to be. Own up to what you want to accomplish. If you want to win an Oscar, say it out loud. I want to win an Oscar. Be fully okay with that. Because if you're fully okay with it, now, if I'm fully okay right now with saying I want to win an Oscar, I haven't made a movie to deserve it, right? But I'm okay with the concept of maybe one day winning it and making a movie that deserves it and winning it. The chances of having imposter syndrome then is a lot less. And, you know, it ultimately isn't about the awards or the fame or the money necessarily. Those might be fun things indeed, but it's ultimately just about having fun. Why not? Why not win the Oscar? Why not get 1 million subscribers? Why not become a millionaire? You know, ask yourself that. Why not become a master chef? Why not raise a beautiful family? Why not? I think that's a much better question than why do I deserve this? The question is why not? Because Jay-Z ain't more special than me. I ain't more special than Jay-Z. Like Ronald is asking. Or whoever, you know, it doesn't really matter. You know, you do what you do as long as you do it with love, I think. If you live with love, if you do things lovingly, why not? Why not achieve everything you want to achieve? Why not? If you're doing it by harming others, by sabotaging them, by cheating them, by deceiving them, then maybe you don't deserve those things. And maybe imposter syndrome is maybe a seed of that guilt. But if that thought comes up in your head about imposter syndrome and says, I don't deserve this, then maybe there's a little part of you that says, I cheated in this and this. I did this wrong. I lied about this. I did an exploit. That's why I think it's so important to live every single day with integrity. And I don't say this to moralize. You know, you do you ultimately, but I found it easier to live life with integrity every single day. So no white lies, no exaggerations, no omissions. Because those lies do catch up with us, even if they seem so tiny. They build over time, they decay our relationships. So I get it. Sometimes, you know, we're not perfect, and sometimes we might say a white lie. A white lie means, if you don't know, it means when you say something, a lie that's relatively harmless. I get it. None of us are perfect, and you know, the best person in the world or the worst person in the world is going to say a white lie from time to time. But if you do your best to not do it, then you will feel more confidence in the long run. If you live every single day with integrity, you'll have more confidence every single day if you live with integrity. Because you're going to know, I didn't get there by cheating. I didn't get there by lying. I didn't get there by deceiving. I didn't get there by exploiting. I got there fully honestly. Hey, Aiden, nice to see you here. It's tough sometimes as you cannot help but hurt people's feelings. There's a difference. There's a difference. There's a difference. Wait up. Yeah, so there's a difference between Maria O is a new member. Amazing. There's a difference between the belief in the white why when people believe that a white lie can be useful is a lack of trust in the other. So you don't trust them. You don't trust them to handle the truth. And I get it, some people might be a little bit more sensitive. Um, but being truthful does not equate being blunt. Your word is very powerful. So you can choose to say something or you can choose to not say it. It's different from being blunt and saying what you think. And it's okay to be blunt. Again, you do you. But that bluntness sometimes does come at a disservice to someone. And you can mask it as being truthful. For example, I might have a friend with a weird hairstyle. I might have a friend who's like all this. I can tell this friend, bro, your hair is terrible. It's ugly. I can tell him that. What if he's very sensitive? What if there's a bunch of different ways people can be. Someone might be autistic. Someone might, just have a bad day. Someone might be going through some terrible time. Someone might be in grief, whatever. You say, hey, your hair is terrible. Sure. It might be an objective, empirical fact that their hair to the majority of humankind looks terrible. But truth doesn't always have to be said. Truth isn't speaking. Truth is truth. You don't need to say it. You can choose to say it. You can choose not to say it. You're home today. Too windy to be out walking. No, so for every first Friday of the month, I do a sit-down live. But when it's summer, I'll do this philosophical chats outside because I much prefer doing it outside. So 2 plus 2 equals 5, says Dickens. Dickens, your math is wrong. I'll be blunt with that. Your math is wrong. Mag says very true. What's your zodiac sign? Gemini. And Alexander, you're a mighty bull. Hey, man, thank you so much for tuning in on FB. Thank you. Oh, we got more people tuning in. Welcome, everyone. Was that Albert Einstein? Yeah, Albert Einstein had a crazy haircut. Can we get a signed autograph of your album? I don't know. Does anyone use a CD nowadays? I'm maybe tempted to make a vinyl printing of my album. It would have to be priced pretty high because I don't have like 1,000 people asking for a vinyl. So if you're willing to pay quite a bit, then maybe I can do an autographed vinyl. I'll check how much it could cost, but yeah, I wouldn't do it if the thing is when you do kind of custom things like that, they do cost a lot if you just make a few copies. And many people just wouldn't want to buy it, I think. But if there's people really out there who really want vinyl and willing to pay a bit extra than you would for a normal vinyl, do let me know. Do let me know. Then maybe I'll consider printing like 10 or 20 of them or something like that. Gretchen says, what album? Check it out. The original soundtrack came out. Just check out the video before this. Kay would love a vinyl copy. NYC asks, what's your most valuable trait in others for you? Integrity. NYC, which I just mentioned earlier. I don't care whether you're a blunt, opinionated, thrifty, clever, slow, fast, smart, not so smart, witty, serious. I don't care what you are. The most important thing is integrity. If you're not lying to me, if you're not being deceitful, I hold that in the highest esteem. You can be literally anyone. You can be the most boring person in the world. I'll hold you in high esteem if you're integrous. Because think about this. If you can hang out with the most charming person in the world, but if they're not integrous, it's going to hurt in the long term. It's not available in the United States on iTunes yet, says MAR. Yeah, that's a bit weird. I'll look into that. I'm not sure. This is my first time releasing an album, so there might be a little bit of slowness. I had to delete the album and repost it because Facebook and YouTube start copywriting my own songs. So I had to delete it from the services. So I'll check. Maybe in a few days, iTunes will be okay. How many kilometers do you walk? I'm not sure in total, but anywhere between 4 to 10 miles per day. Susan asks, do I like Alan Watts? Oh, Susan. Alan Watts is my inspiration. He's my hero for speaking, for telling stories. Like, I want to be able to speak in a way that is as powerful as Alan Watts. That's my goal. That's my goal, is to speak as good as Alan Watts. So yeah, I love Alan Watts. He's one of my favorite people of all time. One of my favorite spiritual teachers, of course, but just speakers, top inspiration. I'm inspired by three main people, I would say, for when it comes to speaking. Alan Watts, Terence McKenna, and Graham Hancock. I'm inspired by those guys for speaking, for talking, for chatting, for discourse. I'm inspired by them. And since I do videos, long form, it's all about speaking. And even when I do vlogs, I rather say entire thoughts, or at least a portion of a story without cutting, without editing. You notice a lot of vloggers can't really finish a full thought. They edit the hell out of their speaking. Do you do private tours of New York City? I do, Christopher. Urbanist.live/tours. I do. Reach out to me. Go to that site. Let me post it right over here. Right here. Alexandra says, thank you so much for being so humble, genuine, and sincere, and so precious. And you live with integrity. That was the first traits I saw of you. Thanks for everything. My pleasure. Hello, Tao. Thank you so much, Alexandra. I appreciate that. Do you consider hiring Yozart for your album? He was so good in your video a few weeks ago. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Maybe I will. Thank you for reminding me. Yozar, such an amazing musician, this Prairie Girl. Great, great, great recommendation. So, of course, I worked with a limited budget. So usually an album costs in $1,000+ unless if you know the musician and it's more of an artistic collaboration. But this is not really artistic collaboration since I want to own the music and I'm going to use it for commercial purposes. Um, so I had a budget, and that budget was sub $1,000. So I did not approach more kind of musicians, especially based here in the US, who would have been a little bit tougher budget wise to work with them. But maybe moving forward, who knows? There could be multiple Urbanist albums coming out in the future. This live stream feed is like gravity to me, says Renee. I'm glad. So, oh my dead daddy says, where are you trying to sell us? I've gotten a few of these comments before for some weird reason. People think I'm trying to sell. I think they're just generally trolling to random creators online. I know, I get it. A lot of people are trying to sell you things. I get it. I myself cringe when someone says I have an online course. I don't have an online course. I don't fault them for making online courses. People find the businesses they gotta find. There's some genuinely good online courses. There's some genuinely good merchandise out there. Um, I'm not selling an online course. At least that's that. But in terms of merchandise, I sell it because people want it. People want it, and people want to support the show, so I sell it. If it brings joy to see a Urbanist logo on a mug or on a tote or on a t-shirt because they like the show, because they love the show, then might as well. Why not? Why not give it to the people? A lot of people think, because you're selling, you're swindling the public. You're taking advantage of them. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, and people of all genders, people gotta live. People gotta pay the rent, including myself, and pay for gear and pay for data and pay for transportation. And would you rather I stop selling, no merchandise, take down all my merchandise? Would you rather me to turn off all ads, take away all patrons, take away all supporters, turn off super chats, stop doing Urbanist, and just do freelance work? Would you rather me do that? Let me know. Let me know. Would you rather me do that? Because if you're asking me to do that, you're asking every artist to do that. And why is there more value in some artist or an entertainer like myself? Why is there more value for us to do a normal job and make money normally? Should I just stop and make normal money? So think about that. Yeah. So those comments it seems silly. I luckily don't get too many of them because because I cover history and people kind of understand, and obviously I'm more clearly providing a service. But I do see those comments on other people's pages. People who maybe do humor, maybe models. I've seen some musicians. They get those comments a whole lot more, and it truly angers me. I don't appreciate that because it's a kind of it's a belief that the artist is not valuable in any respect. But I've talked about this many times. Some of the greatest works of science, medicine, policy, urban design, and architecture have stemmed from the arts, have been inspired from the arts. Our biggest business in the US and one of the biggest businesses in the world is Amazon. And whatever you think about Amazon, the founder of it, and until recently the CEO, Jeff Bezos, was inspired to build Amazon based on his love for Star Trek, a television show about sci-fi. The guy who made DNA, he was inspired by artwork and from a psychoactive experience. Countless people, countless people. You can make a bunch of lists of people. Steve Jobs was inspired by calligraphy. Countless people who have been great scientists, more normal jobs, jobs that are quote unquote good for society. I say quotes because people frame it that way, like science is way higher esteem than arts. Ooh, entertainment, doesn't matter. Entertainment doesn't matter. If you take away entertainment of all arts, you take away inspiration. You take away inspiration. You take away innovation of our built world, of our technology, of farming, of gardening, of food. There's even artistry in food. If we had no arts, we'd just be eating, I don't know, the same thing everywhere, all the time. We wouldn't have all these variety of flavors. So, art is valuable, and we should pay our artists. We should. We should figure out ways economically to pay our artists and our entertainers. Not every entertainer is always going to call themselves an artist, and not every artist is going to call themselves an entertainer. I call myself an entertainer as well, because I do like to entertain. But we have to find ways to pay our artists. And yeah, making merchandise, building a brand that people love, making cartoons, making a soundtrack. I'm finding creative ways to bring more inspiration to people's lives. And that's what matters the most. During this pandemic, I've gotten so many great messages of essential workers, nurses, and a few doctors who told me, thank you for your show, because after I came back from a long day treating COVID patients, I felt much better. I was able to unwind. That is powerful, because that shows the power of entertainment and how powerful it can be. That's why I'm not so susceptible to imposter syndrome. Because imposter syndrome is a lack of confidence of what you do. But remember, you as an artist, for everyone out there, artists, gardeners, architects, cooks, chefs, farmers, whatever you are providing some type of value to people. Sometimes it's not so easily heard. Right now I got a bunch of comments, I got a bunch of people emailing me. We don't tend to email our farmers. We don't tend to email or message or award our gardeners, but know that you're doing a good service and you're doing your best. That's what matters the most. Hey, Maria. Ooh, wow. Very generous. $20 super chat. I both appreciate and respect your knowledge. Keep going, Ariel. Oh, thank you, Maria. I appreciate it. Thank you. And you're doing everything right. Oh, thank you so much, Alfred. I can see your soundtrack in the movie, film, or opening of a weekly TV series. Do you plan to reach out to any producers? Yeah, I have a special project coming up. Stay tuned for March 13th, Saturday, March 13th at 1 p.m. That live video will be unlike any other live video. Stay tuned, because that live video is going to be a gateway to meet some producers. And I actually had a wonderful conversation with a UK-based company who is specializing in educational travel content. So I might be working with a UK company, which will be fun. Oh, my son's birthday is the 13th. Oh, cool. Wendy, awesome. It's March already. Yeah, it is, Gregory. I'm going to do the next song. Okay, Google, next. I'm playing it on my Google. More pork pies. Yeah. You like Oliver Stone? I do. I recently saw the film Snowden and was blown away. I mean, it's not like in terms of artistry, it's not any like big deal, but it's just such an entertaining film. It was really well done. I love Oliver Stone. I love Born on the 4th of July, JFK as well. Great films. He didn't do Born on the 4th of July, did he? He might not have done that, but he definitely did. No, he did Born on the 4th of July. He also did JFK. I can imagine a music video, right? Yes, Urbanist theme song is good. The Urbanist theme song disco remix. It has a music video coming up. Oh, fingers crossed for you. Thank you so much. You triggered mine. Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. You ever seen the film Dinner with Andre? Yeah, I have. I really like it. I mean, I really love movies where it's just a conversation. It's really cool. I mean, that's why I love live videos where they're just a conversation. In interesting places. Your positive way and good energy would get you far, says Mo, because you pull it out to the universe. Well, thank you, Mo. I appreciate it. Yes, he did Born on the 4th of July. Yeah, great film. What's going to happen when you run out of places to walk around New York City? Henry, that happened a long time ago. Henry, I've done like more than 1,000 videos in New York. Somehow I still keep finding places. I keep finding places. Tomorrow I'm actually going to a place I haven't been to before, even after 1,000 videos. So yeah, I mean, I've covered a lot of New York, but I'm eager to go abroad. Who's my favorite YouTuber? Ooh, great question, NYC. Cinema Tyler is one of my top ones. Great YouTuber that talks about the history of films. A lot of Stanley Kubrick films. Really great guy. Patrick Willems. One of the first YouTubers I've met in person. I actually just like reached out to him one day and said this was when I started Urbanist, and I said, hey, I would love to meet you because he's such an awesome creator, and I met him. He's a really cool guy, and actually helped him shoot a film. So Patrick Willems, check out Patrick Willems, and who am I loving right now? I am loving. I have a bunch of people I love. I love Not Just Bikes. Not Just Bikes. Great channel about urban design. Are going to Staten Island. Ronald, what's Staten Island? What is that place? I know the four boroughs: Queens, Brooklyn, Manhattan, and the Bronx. Right? Right? That's New York City. No Staten Island tomorrow, but maybe soon. Have you ever thought of doing a walking tour in Southeast Asia? Yes, I would love to go to Vietnam. Vietnam, I would love to do a video drinking a good, strong cup of Vietnamese coffee, sitting in those tiny little chairs, crammed in with a bunch of Vietnamese. I would love to do Vietnam. And I would love to eat a banh mi on the street. I would do Thailand, Bangkok, and Chiang Mai seems like very great places for history. Angkor Wat in Cambodia would be really cool. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in, Aid. Congrats on the release of the album. Thank you so much. Hey, Snow Wolf, how's it hanging? I'm doing well. Dickens, yeah, Platoon, yeah. Oliver Stone also did Platoon. Highly recommend watching Snowden. If you love my recent video about the windowless skyscraper, you'll love the movie Snowden. as in the name Edward Snowden. Have you heard of the film Before Sunrise? Andrew, that's one of my top films of all time. The entire Before series. One of my top films. Eric Conover puts out good quality videos. He does indeed. He does indeed. You can live your entire life in New York City, not see all of it, says Deanne. Yeah, right. What should be the goal of humanity? Asked Cartier. Ooh, Cartier, that's a great question. The goal of humanity. I mentioned this before. One of the best movies I've seen recently is Soul from Pixar. And in the movie Soul, minor spoilers. So skip ahead like 30 seconds or mute for 30 seconds. But in the movie, the main character comes to the conclusion that life isn't really about purpose. Our purpose is not our career. The character in the movie was a jazz pianist, and he thought his purpose was to play jazz. But he found out it really wasn't. Jazz was something fun, but the purpose wasn't jazz. My purpose isn't to make video. In that film, he found out that his purpose is to live. To live with every single ounce that you can. I think that's ultimately the purpose of humanity. To think that we are destined to conquer the cosmos, I think is a rather silly idea. I think that could be fun to conquer the cosmos. Or maybe not conquer is not the best word, but to explore the cosmos, that could be fun. It could be fun to grow humanity to trillions of people. That could be fun. To colonize Mars and terraform it. That could be fun. But is it our purpose? Is our purpose to somehow raise consciousness, as many spiritual people like to say? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it is. I think our purpose is to live. We're living, so let's live as much as we can before we die. Because all things die. An individual human life dies. I'm sorry, I hated to break it to all of you, but you're gonna die. I'm gonna die. We're all gonna die. Humanity is going to die. Earth is going to die. Solar systems are going to die. Universes are going to die. That could be used as an excuse or for reason to be nihilistic, to think it's all pointless. Okay, so if it is pointless, then why not have fun? Why not have fun? Why not enjoy the moment? There's a great quote, I forgot who said it, but someone said, dying is easy, living is harder. I think our goal in life is to just live. Is to live. Live. Live with every ounce. You know, if you, Teresa, my heart goes out to you. My condolences with your family. Existentialism, it can sound that way, but there's a fine line. Existentialism usually leads to depression, usually leads to a sense of loss, being lost. But I would say take existentialism to its logical conclusion, its logical extreme. If everything is truly, eternally pointless, then why not have fun? Why not enjoy yourself? Why not love? Because love feels good. Harming others doesn't feel good. Even to the most terrible people out there in the world. They may say they get pleasure from doing evil things. but ultimately it doesn't feel good deep down inside. Never feels good. Doesn't feel good to hurt others, but feels really good to love others on a deep level. Whoever you are, from whatever culture you are, whatever religion you are, wherever you're from, wherever you were born, whenever you were born, it feels good to love. And if it feels good to love, why not enjoy the good feeling? Everything could be completely pointless. The entire universe could be a complete waste of things, of time and whatnot. So why not enjoy it, right? So I think that's the purpose of life. I think a lot of people try to attribute. I used to do this. I used to think, what's my purpose? What am I here to do? But purpose implies work. That you're here to work. That's kind of a bummer. We're here to work? I don't know. I don't think we are here to work. If we were, then living off the land wouldn't be so easy. I mean, right now we're a little bit disconnected in our society to live off the land, but if you look into prehistory, ancient pre civilization groups of tribes and people were living together, they had like 5 6 days of they had like 4 days out of 7 days of the week completely left for leisure. This concept that you can die at any moment from a tiger is a bit silly. Yes, there are some natural things out there to be aware of, but it wasn't really that bad. I'm not, of course, speaking from experience. I'm speaking from what I've learned. So, if life was really about work, it wouldn't be so easy to live, I think. So, I get it. Sometimes people are going through tough times, and maybe this type of belief can help people in tough times where maybe you're relieved of your duties in a way. Maybe that's the best thing you can hear in many points in your life, that you don't need to work. I mean, work in kind of a more larger spiritual, existential sense. Um, yeah, you have to just love. It might sound cloying, it might sound sappy to say love, but yeah, you just gotta love. Love feels good. When you love your work, that feels good. When you love to help out others, that feels good. When you love to farm, that feels good. When you love to cook, that feels good. When you love to do the chores of the house and make your bed or clean your room, that feels good. I think we're programmed to think that those things don't feel good, but they do, I think. There's a great saying, there's a ancient Zen koan. Zen koans are a teaching, and they tend to be very short. And it says, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. The point of that Zen koan is saying, before you reach enlightenment, and enlightenment is just a term for, awareness, for knowing the nature a little bit more of the universe. Whatever you can call it, whatever you want. Enlightenment could be grace, it could be beauty, it could be joy, it can be inspiration, it could be flow. You can come up with a bunch of different names for it. But before enlightenment, you chop wood and carry water, meaning you got to do your chores. You're here living on this earth. We're living under a system, a society where you gotta make some money to live. You wanna have a family, you gotta have sex, procreate. You gotta do it. You got you got court. You gotta do all these things. You gotta do things. You gotta do it. There's this illusion for many people that after enlightenment, suddenly you're exempt from all that. You gotta do anything. Everything will come to you, easy peasy. But I don't think it will. I mean, that's what that Zen koan is trying to say, is that you can be as enlightened or not. You still gotta live. So might as well just enjoy it while you're living it. So someone said, Vish actually says, isn't it a wise saying that you are on your deathbed and you never remember the times you were working, but the times you had with your family or when you traveled or read a good book, says Vish. Right. A lot of the bigger regrets you hear, again, this is not speaking from personal experience, this is what I've read, from many people who die of old age, their biggest regret is that they didn't spend enough with family, or they didn't love enough, or they didn't travel enough, or whatnot. Usually the regret is not enjoying as much. The regret is never, I wish I would have made more money. The regret is never, I wish I would have worked more. The regret is never, I wish I would have learned more, or made more art sometimes. No, the regret is usually, I wish I would have spent more time with others. Love for the sake of loving, no other reason, says Lisa. And it might sound like we're, talking about the subject might sound like pointless. We're not reaching any logical conclusion. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying words. It's because some things are beyond verbal comprehension. It is, humans are not all knowing beings. We're not the rulers of the universe from our human perspective. So there's going to be things that are beyond our verbal, what we're able to say, what we're able to express into words. And when those things are beyond, sometimes it sounds like fluff. That's why you might listen to some spiritual teachers like Alan Watts or Eckhart Tolle or even Oprah. You might think, oh, they're talking nonsense. But sometimes you gotta talk some nonsense in order to get somewhere. Let me know what you think. Book a tour. Yes, indeed, Alexandra. Thank you so much for putting the tour link. I rather give than take it. I'm a giver. Yeah. Do whatever feels good. It is important to love taking, I think. If you can receive, I think you can give. And if you can give, you can receive. My cousin said, if I knew the last time it was, my cousin said, if I knew the last time that it was my last time, I would hear is laughed. She said I would never have hung up. So Teresa, my condolences. Teresa lost someone close to her. Yeah, sometimes a simple little laugh is what matters the most. This might be hard for some people to hear, because suddenly everything you've ever been taught about, you gotta work, you gotta be successful, you gotta further the human race, you gotta help your mother country, you gotta build a family and whatnot, whatever. maybe all that is social programming and is it really what we need to do? Are we truly running out of food where to the point where we can't give it to everyone? It goes to show that, we're not truly living in a scarce planet. We're not living in a place where we're running out of things. It just seems that way because humans have gotten in the way. And of course, we gotta be a little bit lighter on ourselves. I think a lot of people, especially nowadays, especially in the Western world, are being a little bit too harsh on humanity. I think you're growing up. I think you're right. Growing up Italian, these types of words were said a lot at home. Right, right. I mean, in Italian culture, you have this concept of dolce far niente, which means the sweetness of doing nothing. I highly agree. So much beauty in doing nothing. Fulfillment is what you feel. Success is what people see. Right, right, right. Ariel, you're such a kind man. Your life interpretation is so heartfelt and honest. I give without expectation back. Right. No strings attached. That's good. Awesome. Have you buried someone I love? I not personally, like, I haven't buried them, but yeah, I've lost people close to me. Um, my grandparents are no longer with us. My uncle as well. Do nothing for 30 seconds. Yeah. So for some people, that's a little bit harder than it seems. But yeah, yeah, do if you're able to do nothing for 30 seconds, it's a good start. Um, that's so true. Dickens. Yeah, sometimes comments are hidden, but keep on commenting. Don't worry. We have a few rules. We just try to keep the good vibes, and sometimes things happen by mistake. People who just give or take or receive are not givers. Right? They're takers, says Mona. Speech for the Tony, says Ronald. Just don't cook bacon Dickens. Oh, bacon. Yeah, bacon chickens. That's funny, says Mags. All about experience. Right. Ram Das said, be here now. Right. Any book from your collection you would highly recommend? Yeah, the number one book I would recommend for my entire collection is The Alchemist. Um, if you want to kind of get a sense of what I'm talking about right now, read The Alchemist. It's a fictional book. It's a parable about a kid who tries to find some treasure in a far distant land. He's a shepherd boy. And throughout this journey, he learns many life lessons. So read The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. If anyone could put the title down. My philosophy is from Peter Pan. I refuse to grow up, says MAR. I'm a Toys R Us kid. My job on Earth was to put a smile on others. Oh, that's great. That's great, MAR. It's outstanding. Water to gold, says Dickens. Right. Maybe alchemy wasn't really about the minerals. Maybe alchemy was turning one feeling into another, turning fear into love, turning anxiety into passion. Maybe that is the real transmutation of the alchemist. The lead, in a way, is our negative feelings that weigh us down, that are consumed in darkness. And perhaps there's ways to transmute those emotional pieces of lead into emotional pieces of gold, lighter and brighter. Be a child of heart in a state of constant wonder, says Inspire Life. Right, right. A lot of people lose their wonder as they grow older. And, I'm sometimes shocked that I go out for food, maybe with people I know, and bear with me. I'm shocked that I sometimes hang out with people and we're eating food and I'm having this kind of mind-blowing experience eating a piece of cake or a salad or some kale or avocado toast or a pasta carbonara or whatever. I'm having this amazing mind-blowing experience. I'm just filled with like joy and just in awe of how gorgeous this tastes. And the other person is like, it's good. The thing is, there are people out there, unfortunately, in the world who don't fully feel. They're afraid to do so for whatever reason. They're afraid to fully feel the full spectrum of explosion of flavors when you eat a great pasta carbonara, or feel the hug of someone you love, or feel the the beauty of a long deep chat with a friend or a lover, or enjoying the beautiful cuddle with a lover, or enjoying the playtime with your kid. Sometimes people are just afraid to feel for whatever reason. I don't fault them for that, but sometimes blows me away that I can be having this absolutely mind-blowing experience and to someone it's just like, it's good. What's that? Meh. It blows me away sometimes. That blows me away too, along with the food. It blows me away that person is having an entirely different experience. I'm like, whoa. I'm here like in having a religious experience, eating a piece of maritoso from Rome, and the other person's like, all right. They think it's a sign of weakness. Right, right, right. That might. There's countless reasons, but that is definitely one of the reasons for a good portion of people. They think it's a bit silly, a bit cloying, a bit sappy to be expressive, to be enthusiastic. Not everyone's like super expressive. It's also it's a little bit of a feminine trait to be very kind of expressive. But certainly you can feel deeply, whether you are more of a masculine person or more of a feminine person or more of a quiet person or more of a loud and talkative person. Whatever you are, there's always the opportunity to feel deeper. And you can really see it. I've hung out with quiet people who are very soft spoken, and you can tell that they're feeling. And that's beautiful. And then, of course, sometimes you hang out with a very boisterous person and you can really tell that they're feeling. In some cases, someone might have been criticized or mocked for their openness. Right, Becky. Right, right. It happens with a lot of people. Ariel, you have that childlike quality that you display by your heartfelt appreciation by visual beauty and that fantastic taste for food and how you're so kind. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's important to just relax, chill out, enjoy life. I act silly sometimes and people tell me to grow up. Right, Kay? I mean, I think it's a little bit, certain circles and certain families and certain societies, it's looked down upon to be silly, to be expressive, to be loud, to be loose, to be casual. It's looked down upon. It's no fault of the culture, but I think when you are aware of that pattern, of that societal belief, you're able to move past beyond it, or you're able to choose You're in a position of choice, whether you want to abide by that societal belief or try something different. I think you're more in the power of choice. Here in America, since we have a culture that stems from the Puritans, and again, I'm not saying anything's wrong, right, or bad, or whatever. Let's go a little bit beyond binaries. But here in America, we do have a culture that is entrenched in Puritanism. And the Puritan cultures, there is a belief that work is salvation, that work is the ultimate purpose of humankind. Work is being spiritually elevated. That is good in some ways because in American culture we have grown so we innovated so fast, so quickly. That's really fun. It's really cool. We've done so many awesome things. We've gone to the moon. We've spread movies all around the world. We built electricity. We crisscross our entire country with highways. In that way, that's the positive manifestation of Protestantism. Not Protestantism, Puritanism. But the negative is the the hustle culture. Work, 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 work. You gotta work, work, work. Or if you're not working, you're being lazy. You're being a waste of human. You're being a waste of space. You're being a waste of human life. People might not say that all the time, but that's definitely what is being conveyed in our society. And I luckily have become a little bit more aware of this. I've been becoming a little bit more aware of this in the past year or two. And luckily I've been able to move beyond it and chill out and still be successful. Chill out and still make an awesome album. Chill out and still, make a living from YouTube videos, which is, I think, a very beautiful thing. Why the obsession with Italy? Because the Pope is in Iraq. Dickheads, I don't know. It's okay to work as long as you're enjoying it. Yeah, right. Well, in Puritanism, there's also a little bit of an underlying thing of if you're enjoying what you're doing, it's bad. Right. Yeah, it's a bit of a tricky subject, but yeah, I think it's no coincidence that in at least Puritan culture in the 1600s didn't really allow laughing or dancing or congregating socially. Not a coincidence. So work wasn't really tied to passion in that society. And to say that society was only in Massachusetts or a few other states in the US is a bit of an understatement because I think that culture, since it was the center point of early American history, spread throughout America. And while some states might be a little bit different, the West Coast might be a little bit more chill out, it's still there. Hey Robert, you've been enjoying my YouTube channel. The last one was the New York City Mafia tour. Have you done videos of Queens? Yeah, many videos of Queens. Search whatever neighborhood and urbanist, and you'll probably find the video. I've done Flushing. I haven't done Elmhurst. I haven't done really Ridgewood yet. Check it out. I'll do Ridgewood soon. I've been tempted to walk around that area. Thank you so much, Rob. If you and my husband were together talking, you guys would be enjoying and sharing for hours and days. He says he enjoys your on-air chat so much. Oh, thank you so much, Teresa. And I had a comment from Janice. Janice, someone said to me, when are you going to stop crying? As we were with my dad who was dying. I have never respected them since. Sheesh, if you're comfortable after knowing someone for 40 years. Yeah, Janice, sorry to hear that you went through that experience. Right. People grieve how they want to grieve. Yeah, it's a bit of a yeah, yeah. I can imagine why you wouldn't want to hang out with that person. Tanny, I'm doing well. Passing out more coffee. Enjoy. Hey, MAR. Thank you so much for tuning in. Blissville, Queens last night. Right. Flushing, my hometown. How am I doing, Tanny? I'm doing well. Thank you so much. You're still alive, says Ab. Yeah, I had a lot of technical issues. Way too many technical issues. So yeah, I'm doing a bonus live video for all of you. I'm staying extra late for all of you. Have you listened to the lyrics of Billy Joel's Miami? No, not yet. I'll check it out. Billy Joel's Miami. Mafia Mexico says Dickens. Oh, maybe one day. All is well. Great Greenpoint walk. Great chat, says Wendy. I'm so glad you're enjoying it. Did they have passion in Puritan society? I don't think so. I think it was looked down upon to be passionate. I mean, the Salem witch trials is a bit indicative of a demonization of passion. Of course, everyone like none of this is a condemnation or a judgment upon the entirety of a culture. Is just the observation of a specific event or a specific uh, aspect of culture. So I think a lot of people sometimes are afraid of having these conversations because they think, oh, you're being so judgmental. But no, we're just chatting. We're just chatting. We're just having intellectual conversation. And intellectual conversations are not always so clean cut. They're not always so um, specific. Ab says, thank you for your time and efforts. Oh, thank you so much, Ab. I appreciate you. Thank you. And I just finished my family meeting. Oh, Irene, hope all is well with your family. I'm so glad you were able to reunite with your family. I got Dutch Moss to play Miami 2017 on New Year's Eve. He was DJing on Twitch. Oh, so cool, oh, waitress. What's your favorite food? Burritos. Ariel, you should host live panel sessions and invite guests to talk about topic. Says Asian. maybe one day. Work doesn't feel like work when you love what you're doing. Right. It doesn't. Are you still live? Says Irene. Indeed, I am. And Cliff, thank you so much for tuning in, Cliff. Hope you're doing well. Do you have pets? No, not right now. These chats are thought provoking, says Teresa. I'm so glad they are. Ariel, sanitize hugs for so many things in common with me. Oh, so glad. Thank you so much, Jazzy. I appreciate it. And thank you, Ab, for your super chat. I appreciate it. Zap says, you have so many fans that can listen to you talk all day. Oh, I'm so glad, Zap. Yeah, with great power comes great responsibility. That's why I find it so important. Some people, feel free to ask me anything. I'll stick around for like about 15 more minutes. A lot of people, I get a lot of comments naturally because my show is becoming a little bit more popular. I get comments and I get messages and I get emails. I tend not to respond at all. So if you message me or email me and maybe I saw the message but I haven't responded, is because I don't. And the reason I don't, and the reason I kind of shut off social media as much as I can after these videos, is because I do realize that with my audience comes a responsibility. And on Urbanist, the responsibility is to have fun, is to have a fun journey of exploring a place. And the best way to have fun is to feel good inside. And the best way I feel good is by disconnecting after these videos. So relaxing, taking time off, doing meditation, doing my personal projects, as I did working on the album, writing, sitting on the bench, whatever it might be. Some other YouTubers might say, oh, I gotta do work. No, whatever for me. It could be literally laying in bed and doing nothing for the entire day. It could be that as well, which I have done, and I do that at times. But for me, I know for me, it's the best way I can bring my full self, my full happy, joyful, excited self to these live videos. I might not always be 100% excited. It might not always be the happiest. And I never tried to lie. I never tried to put a fake smile on. I stopped doing that a few years ago. But that is what works for me. And that's why I take my responsibility of making videos very seriously. Because if I did not honor myself, it did not honor my desire to relax, to chill, to pursue a different creative goal, to whatnot, I would be doing disservice to all of you watching. And you might think it doesn't matter whether you're happy or not, it's the show. Well, maybe for some shows that's the case. For me, no. For me, I think there's a special magic that comes through when you're feeling good inside. There's a special magic. When you honor yourself, when you love yourself, there's a special magic that is transmitted, that is beyond words, that's beyond content of whatever I may cover. It comes through. I can be talking about the most boring topic in the world, like a water treatment plant. I can be talking about a water treatment plant and have fun. That is, that's why it's important to honor yourself as an artist and to remember that you don't owe the world anything. You don't owe anyone anything. Some people might vehemently disagree with me on that, but you don't owe the world anything. If you're a content creator and a viewer says, hey, I've been watching you for so long, why don't you respond to my message? I'm a loyal viewer, what are you doing? That viewer is never entitled to anything because unfortunately that viewer has decided to make what I call secret contract, saying I'm watching you for more access to you or whatnot. It could be literally anything. I'm not talking about just myself. This applies to literally anyone. You could be working in anything. You could be a gardener, as I mentioned. You could be a farmer. You have to honor yourself. Just be yourself. Don't let people control you. I'm working while watching you. Makes the work easier and time go fast. And Wendy, thank you so much for tuning in. Water treatment plants are exciting. I have visited one before, so is that right? Right. It can be exciting, definitely, because you give all your all when you're with your audience. All that you need is to recuperate and get back to only possible when you retreat. Right. You gotta, do what you gotta do so you can give your all when you're there. Every entertainer, every artist is different. You have to create boundaries to remove yourself from the content, and those who get upset are the ones who don't respect the boundaries. Right, the prairie girl. You also said an amazing comment before about uh, people are getting too used to free content. Right, that too. You must help yourself before you can help anyone else, says Asian. Right. Picard, hey Picard, how you doing? Are you close with your family? I am indeed. I am. Not so much my extended family. A lot of my cousins are much older than I am, but I am close to my immediate family. And I grew up in New York City while most of my extended family lives in Puerto Rico. So I didn't get so close to my extended family. But maybe one day in the future, I'll get even closer with them. Life is long. You have a lot of opportunities to do things. Like a travel guide. Oh, Doreen, what are you referring to? You would like a travel guide at some point? Yeah, maybe. When you make coffee at home, do you have an electric appliance? I have an espresso machine. Not Nespresso. I have an actual espresso machine, and I grind my beans when I make my espresso. So I have a grinder and an espresso machine. The Inspired Life says, I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel. Any tips on creating engaging content? Yeah, Inspired Life, great question. First of all, do something that's fun for you. But going beyond that, um, you're in the world of art and sketch. Think of what people are already searching in terms of art. It could be tutorials. It could be how to draw this in that style or whatnot. Like how to draw the Walt Disney castle in watercolor. Think about, yeah, what people are searching for. It could be drawing Billie Eilish's new album cover, something like that. Could be something like that. But think about what people are searching for in order to grab people's attention. And some people, some creators, I'm not saying that you specifically, but I used to have this. I used to have this kind of ickiness of thinking about marketing, or thinking how to market, how to, get your name out there, how to get people's attention. Um, but it's just like being a good storyteller. It's like having a pregnant pause and holding people's attention by good eye contact. Same thing when you make a YouTube video that has a good title, that has a title that people are already searching for. It's the same thing as holding someone's attention in a conversation. It's not manipulation. It's not being disingenuous. Try to find that in the Venn diagram of what you enjoy, what you're really passionate about, and what people are searching for. Find what's in the middle of that Venn diagram. Kay says, new shirt. Yes, indeed. It is a new shirt. Nice glasses. Thank you so much, Christina. Dickens says, by the way, your hair looks so much better. Oh, I'm glad you do. I'm glad you're liking the longer hair. I was trying to comment before, but couldn't. Oh, Alexandra. Yeah, sometimes it gets a little bit overwhelmed. Alexandra, I would recommend not doing so much of the commands, because that might be the issue you're running into. Also, I'm sometimes a little bit unable to see all the comments. So space out the commands a little bit more. That's his inside hair. Yeah, well, I mean, hair sometimes looks better when you're not out in the elements. I listen to your Clubhouse meetings. Yeah, if you're into learning about content creation, about live streaming, Inspire Life, come to my Clubhouse every Monday, 6 p.m. I talk about live streaming with Cliff, who's in the audience. He's a professional live streamer and a few others. So follow me on Clubhouse at Ariel Vieira. Where do I find the best clothes? Asks Hector. Great question. I only really shop at three different locations. Bonobos. Many of my sweaters and jackets are from Scotch and Soda. And jeans and undergarments and socks and things like that are from Uniqlo. So really only three, and then Converses. So four different shops, basically, what I use. Is Clubhouse only audio? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. At Ariel Vera. You can follow me there, and then you'll see the event on Monday, 6 p.m. Barbados, no, Barbados is a bit too expensive. What was your favorite tour that you ever did? Ooh, great question. Um, I've done so many tours. Recently, the Mafia tour was actually surprisingly fun. I, for the longest time, resisted against doing any Mafia history because I thought it was going to be so deeply depressing and dark. And yeah, I do realize that the mafiosos did commit crimes and they did commit some heinous acts. Um, but I did not get so depressed reading it. It did not feel so dark as like say like covering the history of like a serial killer, which I will never do on Urbanist. I won't be talking about that topic. But mafiosos, I didn't find it so dark. I actually found it a bit fascinating culturally, and there was a lot of cool things in there, and some interesting stories. No wonder many movies are made about mafia guys, and there's some of the most famous movies in cinema history. So that was my most recent favorite one, and then beyond that, of all time, is my favorite movie of all time was. I mean, my favorite live stream of all time is my Puerto Rican Day Parade broadcast I did on Facebook before I ever did YouTube back in 2018. And it went viral. I got 247,000 viewers live. Insane amount. And the number went up to like 400,000 viewers in total. And the cool thing is, I thought that live video was going to get very little views because the live video was about my culture, Puerto Rican culture, New Rican culture. I talked about the history of salsa, which is popular, but it's not like super popular, especially with English-speaking audiences. So I didn't think that video would do well or make a lot of views. And I was so happy that a video that was a little bit more personal to me, still about history, still about travel, but more personal to me, end up doing so well. And every time that's happened, that I've done videos that touch me personally, are the ones that surprise me the most. And I see it as a sign that to keep on doing what truly, deeply touches me in anything I do. William says, why are you on the internet soliciting? What are you referring to? All right. Yeah. Goodbye, William. Everyone say goodbye to William. Bye-bye. The video was great. Can't believe I watched the whole thing, says Kay. By saying bye, I mean banned. That video was great. Can't believe I watched the whole thing. That's cool, Kay. And Carmen says I resemble the actor Jack Hudson from Boardwalk Empire. Yeah, because he has the mustache as well. Yeah, and the black hair. Right. I'm trying to go for Dali. I'm trying to go for Tom Selleck, but I'll take Jack Hudson. But if I wear more of my kind of more floral ones, then I start looking more like Magnum PI, Tom Selleck. Is Bonobos the monkey? Yeah, it's named after the monkey. Scotch and soda, yeah. Have you tried Eileen's cheesecakes? Yeah. Trisha, I actually have a video on it. One of my videos that went viral on TikTok are about Eileen's cheesecakes. I tried it a few times on live video. Am I single or am I married? I'm single, ready to mingle. Afras, hello. What's the most significant lesson you learned since you started streaming? Says Ronald. Ooh, I've learned many lessons. For me, making Urbanist has been quite a journey of uh, personal development and spiritual growth. If you want to read a little bit more in detail, I have a whole lot of writings on my personal Instagram. So follow me at the Ariel Vieira, and you'll find a bunch of writings about different life lessons I've learned. But if I were to tell you one right now, I would say people are going to love you for who you are. There's a lot of fear with, I notice with a large portion of people out there that think that they're not going to be loved for who they are, that they'll be rejected, that they'll be discarded, that they'll be ignored for being what you truly love being, for what you love truly expressing, for loving who you really love loving. There's a lot of fear with that, and I've learned I will find my audience. I have found friends, gotten closer with family by being who I truly am, which is what you're seeing right here. If you know me personally, you probably know that I'm pretty damn close to. Of course, these are videos, so there is some sort of persona, but there's a few people in here in the comments who have met me in person. Let them know how close am I to how I am in videos. Pretty damn close. Pretty damn close. Not saying it's not saying that's bad to have a persona that's different from your real life. There's a lot of actors that are very different from real life. Like Harrison Ford is not the charming Han Solo in real life. A bunch of YouTubers are not the same as they are in real life. Someone mentioned Eric Conover. He's different in real life than he is in his videos. A lot of people are different in real life. That's not saying that's a bad thing, but what I'm saying is, at least for me, I've found it such a priority to be as authentic as possible in my videos. To be as authentic as possible. I want to give as much as me on these videos. Just because that's what I want to do. That's the type of personality I want to be on the internet, on TV, whatever type of form. I want to give my truest self. I don't care too much about the persona. Maybe one day I'll do acting, but I care more about just being as true to myself in the context of history, food, and travel. The reason why, I think one of the reasons why, is because I do live video. So a persona is hard to keep strong in a 2, 3, 4, 5 hour live video multiple times a week. It's hard to maintain a persona. It's hard to maintain a character for that long. Some people can do it, but it's hard. It's hard. And it doesn't allow so much flexibility to explore, to meet people randomly, spontaneously, to get into different situations. I think it pays off to be as genuine as possible and speaking from the heart as much as possible on live video. Because in the vlog, you can edit yourself. In a movie, you can read off a script. In a TV show, you can also be edited and produced and scripted. But live video, not so much. So it's important to just be yourself. That's why I see so much importance from it. But I think the second lesson I will leave you with is The second lesson I will leave you with is what matters the most is people. I'm not perfect in this. Many people aren't perfect in this, but I found that the best thing in life is others, is connecting with others, being with others, sharing and collaborating with others, chatting with others, whatever you do, just others. It's so important. Life is never truly alone. No one really lives in the true bubble. And while there might be a tiny little 0.1% of the world that are hermits, even a hermit has some friends. So I think that's what matters the most is friends. Susie says, I like to see you do more physical comedy like the recent bench fail. Yeah, yeah, maybe I'll do more of that. The best urbanist I found after looking for some time. Wanted to find someone with a great personality and a great conversationalist. Honestly, an educational. Oh, thank you, Roseanne. I'm so glad you're enjoying the great conversation. Hello, Brittany. We've been watching me for a long time. Wanted to find someone with great personality. Oh, no, wait. Sorry. Getting confused. It's a pleasure that you speak Spanish too. I speak Spanish. Would like to know what's your opinion about the new generation? The new generation is different. Is definitely different. uh, I'm shocked at how many differences there are. But and it is a bit worrying that the new generation is so hooked on social media. Not because it's because of social media. It's because of the companies. They make it too addicting. So I'm a bit concerned for the new generation in how they relate to others. But everyone goes through their challenges. Every single generation goes through their challenges. So millennials have to go through the challenge of having an economy that is not built for them and a government that's not built for them. So, when I learned in history in the late 1800s, there were so many developers of neighborhoods that were my age. They were literally building whole neighborhoods. The guy who built like Bensonhurst and like Bay Terrace and all these, not Bay Terrace, Bath Beach and all these other neighborhoods. He was like in his mid 30s. So many people out there, were able to build such big businesses and do such big things, younger age, back in the 1800s. If you were a man, the subject is way more complicated, but generally I saw men were at least able to build a big business. I know for women it's a very different subject. That said, millennials nowadays don't really have that opportunity that easy. So that is our challenge as a generation, is to how do we have our own piece of the world? How do we build things, companies, businesses, neighborhoods, cities, great works of art? How do we do that when it seems like the entire economy is built against us? And it seems like the older generation is unwilling to hand down the torch, so to speak. Very different from the generation prior. So everyone goes through their challenges. And I think the younger generation is going through a very different set of challenges that the millennial generation is going through. They're going through the challenge of disconnection, of loneliness, of addiction to social media. Dickens, thank you so much for tuning in. Will you be more conservative, funny, strict father, or more like a friend for your future child? I think if I, of course I don't have any children. I not speaking again from experience, but if you're a father, I think it's important to be a father. not a friend, not a buddy, not a leader necessarily, or a tyrant or whatnot, but to be a father, which means to teach, to guide, to support, be a father. So that's my take on it. Old people don't have money either, right, Mr. Beaner? Yeah, yeah. I mean, of course, the conversation is much more complicated. I'm simplifying, but yeah, is more complicated. Young entrepreneurs lost in the curve. Yeah, you might see a lot of young entrepreneurs, but I don't think they're representative of the majority. I think they end up getting famous on YouTube and Instagram or TikTok, but I don't think they represent the majority of millennials or Gen Z. Humans are hardwired to interact with another. Young people are in the need of that. Right, they are. They are. And it's on us. Like if you're aware, if you're from the boomer generation, which is the term we hear used in the US, and you're aware that millennials are having a little bit of a tough time economically to even own a house to start a family, then there, if you're aware of that, there's ways that you can be proactive in helping, whatever that might be. I don't know what that is. There's countless ways maybe to be more proactive. Um, Same thing with me being aware of the boomer generation, struggling sometimes with um, their families disconnecting. It's so sad that I have so many friends that live so far away from their parents. I get it. I get it. You want to be independent. You want to live your own life and move anywhere you want to move. But it bums me out that people aren't hanging out with their families. Of course, everyone has their own different issues, but there's there's a magic, there's a beauty that happens when you work out the issues with your family and somehow make it work. Or you both come to the conclusion that can't really work out and you go your own separate ways. But you get to a decision, you make a choice. It's very empowering. And I think that is a little bit of a struggle with my generation as well, with millennials and with boomers, is we're disconnected from each other. We're not hanging out with our parents. We're not knowing our parents. I'm speaking generally, because luckily I have the benefit of being close to my parents. But I meet many friends who aren't, and it's so sad to see. Here in the U.S., there's cultures that are very different. Do you have siblings? I do. I have a half brother. Generations should not be blame other generations for their problem. No, Ronald. Yes. No. No, that is true. That is true. No. We are stubborn, says Max. That is true. Younger people have less face to face, right? Will you do a 12 to 24-hour live stream? Maybe one day. Yeah, maybe one day. Let me know if anyone's interested in a mega live stream one day. Or like a truly mega live stream. My record right now is 6 hours, but let me know if you want me to someday go even longer exploration, like maybe a very long exploration somewhere. I'm a final year boomer and hung out with my dad. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, of course, we're generalizing. In any type of conversation, there's always generalizations. Will you consider having a philosophical chat on national TV? It's hard. I mean, it's hard to be this open and forthright and not having the full words. It's hard. Yeah, I don't think this is right for a big audience. I think it would be bad for me. because I could be attacked for anything I say, anything that might be misinterpreted. You know, in a regular, in any type of intellectual conversation, or any type of conversation, period, you're going to generalize. You're going to say things that might not be so accurate. You're going to speak from your experience and not fully know the experience of someone else. You know, I'm speaking from my experience. Someone who has lighter skin, male, 6 foot tall, grew up in New York City with, you know, a typical New York style accent. That's my experience. I in no way know what the experience is of an Indian woman who's married with children. Like, I don't know that experience. And that's okay. But the thing is, if these conversations were broadcasted to millions of people, to billions, or I mean, at least tens of millions, there's more opportunity that people would just completely misinterpret what you're saying. So that's why, you know, these chats, if I continue growing more in terms of audience, it'll become a little bit harder to have these chats as fully open as possible. How old am I? I'm in my early 30s. It'll be harder to have these chats open. But I'll do my best to figure out ways to do so. And that's why I like having Urbanist. You know, Urbanist is about history, food, and culture. So that's its own brand. So I did not call Urbanist Ariel Vieira's travel show, because I know the struggle of having a brand that's the same name as you, because then you can't really, you know, then your brand suffers if you have some differing opinion from someone. Like Rick Steves, who's a great guy. He has some strong opinions about the current state of the world. I agree with him in his opinions, but a lot of people don't. And his business suffers because a lot of people mistaken Rick Steves, the brand, the travel company, the books, with Rick Steves, the individual. They can't separate it. And that's why I like having Urbanist. Urbanist is not Ariel Vieira. I'm Ariel Vieira. This is Ariel Vieira making a appearance on Urbanist. So if you want to see this content, then go to my personal channel and you'll see more of that content. Otherwise, Urbanist is all about history, food, or culture. Do you make all your money from YouTube? No, not all of it, Ibrahim. I still work as a freelancer. And I make money other ways. Merch, patrons. Thank you. Thank you to all the patrons out there. All right, so I'm going to answer the few questions that people left. And then I'll be heading out. Have you ever thought of doing a TED Talk? Yeah, I mean, I would like to. I would like to at some point. I would love to. You know, sometimes I look at TED Talks and I think to myself, I could do a better job. But I am definitely nervous about going on stage. You know, I am very comfortable doing a live video to thousands of people, but I still get a little bit of stage fright to do a speech in front of hundreds, which is ironic. Sometimes people are the reverse. They could do a speech with 100 people in the audience, but they are scared S-less from doing a video in a live video. We like your walks in snow, right? Do you live in Queens? I'm from Queens, Jackson Heights. Have you seen Jason Silva? I love Jason Silva. He's a big inspiration as well. I kind of got lost touch in him because I kind of a little bit of I didn't agree with his with his beliefs, but I really do appreciate him. He's a great speaker. Susan, people are staring at you. Yes, yes. I mean, even in live video it happens. Wouldn't it be nice to speak with people old or young about the most beautiful places of New York? Right, that's beautiful. I mean, I already do it here. Is Manhattan your favorite borough? I spend most of my time in Manhattan. What topic would your TED Talk be about? I don't know. I have no clue. I have no clue. I would love, I have proof on Urbanus of synchronicities. Like proof. 100% proof. Like you heard me speak about something and it has happened randomly on Urbanus, on these videos. Synchronicities of me like talking about a topic and the song on the radio says the lyrics of the same exact thing I'm talking about. You've seen these things. You've heard them. You can call it whatever you want, but I think there's something there for a TED Talk. Because I've captured those moments. Many of you have seen it. Many of you know exactly what I'm talking about. Those moments that are just unbelievably coincidental. And they happen over and over again. They just didn't happen once or twice. They've happened now dozens, if not 100+ times. The Gangs of New York movie, I love it. You have so many platforms. I'm only on FB. It's hard to watch you whenever it's possible. I always enjoy your videos, says Veronica. I'm so glad. Yeah. I do Facebook and YT and Twitch because the more the merrier. I did a TikTok with friends, no problems. And would you ever want to move to another city? Yes, London. And my dream has always been to go to New York in the snow. Oh, I'm so glad I can show you New York in the snow. Help you get here. You will. Now that you've seen it, you will. Now that you've seen the video of it. Walking Commuter is interested in doing a sushi collab. Ooh, awesome. I can't wait. How accommodating are Puerto Rican people versus Latinos in regards to the gay community? Joey, that's a bit of a tough topic. Jackson Heights is very gay friendly, which is a very South American community. So it's historically one of the traditional gay neighborhoods of New York, Jackson Heights, Queens. And it's mostly a Hispanic neighborhood. I can't really speak for Puerto Rico. I really don't know. Puerto Rico, I think, is a little bit more friendly than other countries. Do you speak any other languages? Spanish. And what's your favorite bagel place in New York City? I love Bergen Bagels. Russ and Daughters, probably second. Why do you think this synchronicity happens? Does it have a reason? Says Irene. If you think about merely in mathematical terms, in terms of coincidences, they're so monumentally big, the probability so monumentally small of something happening, of a coincidence, of me speaking about a certain topic and a song comes out on a speaker nearby saying that same exact word. Me talking about, there was an instance where I was shooting on the ferry and I was talking about how I really would love to be on the BBC. Good night, Clarissa. Thank you. I would love to be on the BBC. And as I mentioned the BBC, there's a ship that comes, and many of you saw this. Some people actually pointed it out. A ship passes, and it says BBC Echo. So if you think, and this has happened many times, if you think in terms of pure mathematics, the probability is tiny. It's tiny. Insurmountably tiny. What are the chances that I talk about BBC and a ship called the BBC passes through? It's very, very tiny. It might be a little bit more probable if I were talking about the USS Enterprise on Star Trek and the ship passes by and says USS. That would be even more probable. So mathematically, it's hard to say, if they happen over and over again, is it truly just pure probability? Is it truly just pure coincidence and randomness? It could be. Could be. But what if it isn't? And if it isn't, what does it mean? Or does it mean anything? It's up to you. But watch my show long enough and you'll be like, holy shit, that's random. That's coincidental. Regardless of what it means or not, it's always fun when it happens. I think that's the most important thing. It's fun. It feels good. If you want to get a little bit more of what it means, think about a movie. People sometimes get pissed off when the movie has a coincidence. You know, a character stumbles upon a sheet of paper where it comes with a great plan to defeat the villain, or something like that. There's always these coincidences that happen in stories, fictional stories, and people are like, "Oh, that's so hokey." Truth is sometimes stranger than fiction. Trudy says, "What does it mean?" So, what I interpret it as meaning, based on what I read in the realm of spirituality, is a synchronicity is a sign that you're on the right path, that you are, and it's not like a path in the sense of a linear path, a road that you're meant to be on, a purpose, but more you're moving in the direction of your truest self. You're moving in the direction of your deepest happiness. That is, in my perspective, the meaning of a synchronicity. Me talking about the BBC, wanting to host the BBC, and seeing a ship called the BBC, maybe is a good sign for me to have that dream, to have that goal. Maybe that is the universe echoing that desire, that purpose, that wanting, that joy. The BBC echo. So, you talk to this to most people, they'll think you're crazy, but that's okay. That's okay. Moving in the direction of your inner mirror, right, right. I mean, there's so many terms you can use it. I think a lot of people get sometimes stuck in the terms, but I appreciate everyone saying the different terms. But people sometimes say, "Oh, it's synchronicity," and then they kind of use that to say, "Oh, it doesn't mean anything." You could call it synchronicity. You could call it randomness. You could call it grace. You can call it flow. You can call it happenstance. You could call it serendipity. There's so many words for it, and if this concept, think about it, bring it more to a logical conclusion. If this concept is literally in every single language of the world, in every single spiritual text, in every single vocabulary, there's a word that is akin to grace, serendipity, Tao, someone said it, flow. The Islamic religion definitely has a word for it. There's a word for it in every single language. If there's a word for it in every single language, is it indicative of something? A shared experience? Some people might say it's a mere flaw in our thinking, that us humans just see patterns and we see what we want to see. Could be. Sure, that could be. But maybe it's more indicative of something else. Because do we truly understand the full universe? Do we truly understand all the machinations of everything that exists? Do we truly understand that we don't? To say we do, no. Science hasn't figured out everything. It can, maybe. It's definitely going in that direction. But science has not yet, right now, at this very moment in time, figured out everything. There's still things inexplicable. Yes, science can help us get there, but they're inexplicable. They're incomprehensible. They're not understood. Just like if you were to talk about radio waves, you would say to someone, you have a radio, and suddenly a radio, you bring a radio to someone in the 1700s, you give them this device and turn it on, and you hear music coming in. You say that to this person, there's magical waves, there's invisible waves, you don't even use the word magical, but there's invisible waves that go through the air. transmit audio from some other place that's even recorded. Someone actually captured a sound and put it into a thing and transmit it into invisible waves into the air, and it gets into your device. A thing, a rectangular piece of metal. Tell that to someone in the 1700s, they would think you're insane. Utterly insane. They won't be able to understand it because they don't have the concepts of waves. They don't have the concepts of radio, let alone. They don't have the concepts of a device necessarily. They don't know what this metallic piece is. They don't know what a speaker is. They don't know how to even capture music. All these things, all these concepts are unknown to the common person. So that said, if that's the case, then do we truly understand everything? Is coincidence, should we just merely say coincidence is coincidental? Random. Doesn't matter. Happenstance. I think that's a rather boring way to live life. In my opinion, it's a rather boring way to live life. To just chalk up things to pure randomness. Oh, how boring life would be if everything was just purely random. It's okay, you can live life in a way where you say things are just random. Our life here is just random. What we love to do is just random. Love is just random. The cosmos is just random. Yeah, you can say that's random. That's okay. That's okay. You can live life that way. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with living life that way. But tell me this. Isn't it fun to live life with a little bit more mystery? To live life with a little bit more wonderment? To live life with a little bit more magic? Or serendipity? Or whatever word you want to use. Is that fun? Ask yourself that. If it is fun, then why not enjoy it? Are you going to perish the moment you have fun? Someone just gonna snap their fingers like Thanos in the Avengers. Snap your fingers and you're just gonna disappear because you dared to have fun. You dared to believe in something bigger, something more incomprehensible. No. People have lived their entire lives having from the strangest beliefs to the most mundane. And they lived life normally as everyone else. You can literally believe anything. And you can live. You can enjoy food. You can love. You can have a family. Yeah. So if that's the case, if you can literally believe anything, as long as you're not hurting people, because usually when you hurt people, it tends to come back at you, and it tends to limit your life possibilities. But if you are living life where you're not harming anyone, and you're believing literally anything, you can literally believe anything. You can literally believe that the world is a gigantic bowl of spaghetti, and we're just the sauce. You can believe that if you want to. And still live a relatively normal life, eating, being happy, having a family, whatnot. If that's possible, why not believe in the mystery? Why not enjoy the mystery, the beauty, the incomprehensible, the beyond? Why not enjoy it? Because a lot of people have this discussion in a very kind of heady way. in a way where, you know, they want to discuss is it really true? Is it reasonable? Is it logical? I don't care too much about that topic. There's many others who do. You can listen to someone like Sam Harris or Eckhart Tolle or countless people of all from the full spectrum. Or someone like Richard Dawkins, who's very kind of deterministic. Or someone more religious, more like a Pope Francis. You can listen to all these different opinions and have that discussion more of is it reasonable? Is it true? Is it logical? Can we test it? I get it. That could be a fun conversation as well. But I'd rather talk about why not have the fun in even entertaining these ideas. If they're real or not, why not have fun entertaining them? Because then that makes life fun. It does. It really does. If you believe that everything is deterministic, set in stone, random, there is no coincidence in life, everything has to be tested. If it's not tested, you're wrong. If you live that way, generally you're going to have less fun in life, I think. I use the word fun a lot because I think it's very important. Because isn't fun fun? Think about that. Isn't fun fun? And if it is fun, then why not have fun? We have a purpose. I know after I adopted 2 girls with my wife. Oh, so glad, Julio. Yeah, that's awesome. What is the fun of life, Marcelo? Oh, that's a very personal question. And thanks. And do you think mankind will ever figure out time travel? Maybe. I mean, there's some really interesting thing happening in the world of science. They discovered a 5th dimension. It's really weird. I'm not saying it's aliens, but it was aliens. Says Sam. Yeah. I mean, it's fun. Ancient Aliens, fun show. Yeah, sure. Aliens, not aliens. Who cares? You know, Yeah. You can talk about more serious. You have more academic discussion of who built the pyramids. But I think, a show like Ancient Aliens is fun. It's fun. It's fun to entertain the idea that there's a possibility that aliens built the pyramids. I don't believe that necessarily, but it's fun. Why not have that discussion? Why not explore that idea? Why not test that idea? Why not bring it to its logical conclusion? Why not discover, why not explore that idea? Would you ever like to live in medieval times? Probably not. I really love modern times. Susan says, you were fun. Just the complexity of human mind is so complex that we cannot be random, says Gio. Right. I mean, if you do want to have this as a more academic discussion, right, yeah. Yeah, it is rather complex for just being pure randomness. All right. We have a purpose. Oh, philosophy. What is a sandwich? Oh, life's greatest mystery. Aren't we all a sandwich? Aren't we all sandwiched by the cosmos? Marcelo. It is fun to find exploration and take part of it. Yeah, right. I look like an explorer from the 1700s. Oh, so glad I do. Chaos theory, yeah. Do you ever watch your old videos and say, I don't remember being there? I watch my old videos and sometimes I feel like I'm a different person now. So yeah, I sometimes watch my videos and I'm like, whoa, I was so different back then. Remembering places, not so much. Not yet. Haven't done that many videos yet, I think, to have that happen. Do you think the Maldives will sink? It is a possibility. I hope they figure out a way. When we do know that if we can move closer to the speed of light, time will slow down. Right. I mean, we can take advantage of relativity to time travel in essence. Is hot dog a sandwich? That's life's greatest question, Mags. Is hot dog really a sandwich? And if a hot dog is a sandwich, then maybe we are all a gigantic sandwich. As long as there's no tomato in my sandwich. Do you believe in aliens, says Mikael? I do. I do believe that there is a strong possibility there's something out there it is rather, I think, boring to think there isn't. And said Elon Musk once said that we were living in some kind of Matrix VR world. Yeah, Elon Musk has said that. I hope that's not the case. That kind of would suck. I hope that's not the case. I do not understand what Elon Musk is saying. So Elon Musk, one of the CEOs of Tesla and SpaceX, claims that we might be living in a simulation. I mean, I have no doubt there's more to this existence, but it would kind of suck if it's just a mere computer simulation. Do you think Puerto Rico will become a state? Oh, Mario, I don't discuss politics, but I do love Puerto Rico. I do love the U.S. So maybe you can draw a conclusion there. I hope you will reach 100K subscribers. Thank you so much, Mr. Schiffinator. Says I deserve a lot more. Thank you so much, Mr. Schiffinator. I appreciate you. Everyone, would you like to live on Mars? No, I really love Earth. Earth is beautiful. I love this garden planet. It's gorgeous. There's so much more to explore. I'll leave Mars to other people. They can explore it. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. Sometimes it just takes time to answer questions. Right, sometimes it takes time. I can't answer every single question. But if you watch long enough, you will get my attention. And philosophical chats are every first Friday of the month. However, if you're a super urbanist, you get a bonus one on next Friday, where we can even have even more of a crazier discussion or more of a behind the scenes discussion. And you have more of my attention if you're a super urbanist, either on YT, FB, or Patreon. So if you enjoyed this conversation and want to support the show, you can do so right there. I'll be back live tomorrow at 1 p.m. in the Bronx. Keep being awesome and always keep on exploring. Oh yeah. Listen to the Urbanist soundtrack, by the way. Have a good day, everyone. Bye-bye.